In the kind of pantheon of horrible leaders, John, in the world, um, we obviously have put sanctions on Lukashenko now, along with the Americans, the EU, Canada. Um, we've put sanctions on him, but this is not something that we do to other regimes with very poor human rights records. A country like Saudi Arabia would spring to mind. This is a question that goes a lot further than Lukashenko, but in the pantheon of awful leaders in the world, do you think it's acceptable for a Western country to kind of basically pick and choose which awful regimes it decides to sanction, either financially or by direct military means, and it decides to basically turn a blind eye to other ones?
Well, there's a serious problem about Western hypocrisy, and
Yes.
and how we deal with the Saudi regime is there's a whole series of nightmares. Number one, at the moment, the price of gas and petrol is going up. If we had a serious argument with the people who run Saudi Arabia, our gas and oil prices will go up much, much more. So the problem is we're dependent upon the Saudi regime to keep our energy supply and to secure it. And therefore, the unhappy political judgment is that we don't want to pick a fight with these people because otherwise there will be really, really long queues outside our petrol stations.
Yeah.
And that's the political reality. I am a massive fan of the move to electric car and the bicycle and all of that, because the two people who hold the most petrochemicals are Vladimir Putin and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as Mr. Bonesaw after the Khashoggi thing. So the problem is that we can't switch to the electric car overnight. And although we're going in the right direction, we can't do that. And it would be an act of economic self-harm for example, Britain to pick a fight with the Saudi regime, because they supply a vital part of our economy, which is cheap petrol, and that's the real world political problem. So that there is some hypocrisy there. There's also some hypocrisy with the way we deal with China. By the way, China needs us because we're the customer far more than we need them. So I think we can actually do much more in terms of standing up for human rights in Tibet, for the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, where a monstrous crime. There are two monstrous crimes happening right now. There are three. There is the monstrous crimes in Tibet, the monstrous crimes in Xinjiang against the Uyghurs, and the monstrous crimes against the Hong Kongers. Now, I think we can push much harder against places, against China. For example, I think the Beijing Olympics is going to be like the Berlin Olympics in 1936, and I think we can push back it much further. But because we can't tell the people who run Saudi Arabia what we think of them clearly, because they are massively important to our economic well-being, and the same applies also to our relations with the Chinese Communist Party who rule China. Because of those problems, it does not mean that we should be inert where we can make a difference. And I think we can make a difference because Belarus is not important to us economically, and therefore we can say what we think. Actually, I think that we should have, after the hijacking, we should have been much tougher. And as I said, one of the things I want to do next year is to investigate the extent to which the City of London is helping out Lukashenko with its checkbook, and I want public scrutiny on that, because we can do something about Belarus in a way that we can't do something about Riyadh, about the people who run Saudi Arabia, because of our economic dependency on oil. So I get it. Yes, we are being hypocritical, but that's a problem we've got. Otherwise, we can be absolutely wonderful about it, but there'll be a problem which our populations won't like at all, and therefore the people proposing kind of principled action against Saudi Arabia have got to deal with the problem of our economic dependence on Saudi Arabia at the moment. We can, however, do something against Belarus, and let's do it.